Hello Stampers, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be showing you this awesome Daffodil Daydream bundle, and I made a really cute fun fold card with this. This is what the Daydream bundle looks like. Here's the stamp set. It's just a lot of fun to play with. And here are the dies that go with it, as well as some stems. So these 6 dies make this flower. These 2 make the bud. This is what we're going to be using today to make the butterfly, and these 6 dies make another flower. Then there's also stems that go with it and outlines for these 2. So this particular card was made with the gorgeous free designer series paper from Celebration, which was called Daffodil Afternoon. If you didn't get that paper, it's too late because Celebration is over. So I'm going to also be showing you an alternate card using this beautiful paper called Expressions in Ink, which is available in the catalog still. So today I'm going to be making 2 cards. And the first thing I want to do is stamp Happy Mother's Day on this shaded spruce paper, which is what I'm going to be using for the Expressions in Ink card. And instead of Easter blessings, I'm going to say Happy Mother's Day. Those are both 2 sentiments in the Daffodil Daydream suite. And I already went ahead and did the butterfly. I stamped him out and I cut him out just in the interest of time. I cut him out with these 3 dies. And this is actually the same paper, it's just a reverse side, and this coordinates with the Expressions in Ink paper that we're going to be using. All right, so I'm going to set this aside for a minute. This was the butterfly that I used. I want to set this aside though and show you how to actually do the cutting, because it is a little bit complicated, I thought, the first time I did it. And so I just wanted to show you how I did it. And first of all, if you want to take a screenshot of this, I took basic white cardstock, 4 1/4 by 11, and scored it at 5 1/2, and then a quarter sheet shaded spruce, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and designer series paper, 3 inches by 6 inches. So out of 1 sheet of designer series paper, you can make 6 cards. Also a coordinating scrap for the butterfly. And lastly, I used the macrame 3D embossing folder. So there's the little formula. All right, so first of all, if you want to see, this is actually the pattern that I used, and I'll show you how I did it in a minute. So I want to take a sheet of basic white cardstock, and the first thing that I want to do is score it at 5 1/2 inches. And the scoring tool is the lighter gray one, or lighter beige one. So that's 5 1/2, and now I'm going to cut it at 4 1/4 inches. And this is going to give me my tent fold card, which is what I want for this card. So it's going to be tent fold like this. Okay, and now I'm just going to go ahead and cut this. And normally I would make a second card with this, but today I'm just going to cut it because I'm going to show you. I'm going to use it for my card. All right. So now I want to take this, and I'm going to take the same size dimension, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 of the shaded spruce. And I'm putting them together, I'm cutting them together. I'm taking my template, I'm going to take a pencil, and first thing I want to do is mark down 3/4 of an inch. And then I believe that's 1 1/2, yeah, 1 1/2 inches. Right there. And let's scoot this over and do the other side at 3 inches. Now it's important that you cut your two papers at the same time. That way you have the same cutting angle. Otherwise you could just slightly adjust it and mess it up. All right, so I have them together. I'm going to line this up with my groove, and I'm going to cut it down to 3 inches. So, oops, 3/4 on one side, 3 inches on the other. There we go. So that's the top. And then I'm going to take this one, which is 1 1/2, and I'm going to cut it down. Of course, you can't see it. Let's see if I can move this up. Try that again. There we go. I'm taking it down to this point down here. Okay. This is a scrap. You can use it for other things. We don't need it for this card. Now, the next thing you need to do is just take your top white one, and you want to just trim 1/8 inch off the top panel, which is like that. And 1/8 inch off the bottom panel. Now make sure you're not doing the green now, or the darker color. And this gives you enough so that you can have your border when you line them up. And by cutting them together, you have the exact same angle. Okay, now I'm ready to bring in my embossing and cutting machine. Now, like I said, we're going to be using the macrame 3D embossing folder. And since it is a larger folder, you have to use the larger machine for this. So let's see if I can zoom out a little. And we're going to do that first. I'm going to take my, just my white, not my green. And I'm going to make sure that they're going the right way. It's going to be like this. Now, by the way, you could actually go the other way with this as well. I'll show you when I'm done here. I think I messed this up. There we go. Oh, don't think too much, girl. All right, so I just want to make sure that I'm lining this up parallel to the top and the bottom. So this is parallel to that, and you can't see the bottom. This is parallel to the bottom. And I'm putting the black Stampin' Up side first. Okay. And for this one, we're using the base plate, which is the 1 plate, and the specialty plate, which is the 4 plate. So we're going to put the embossing folder down. Always put the hinge towards the handle. Put this on top, and we're going to run it through the machine. All right, so I'm going to set this aside. I'll show you that in a minute. And while I have this out, I'm going to go ahead and already cut out my butterfly, but I want to cut out my Happy Mother's Day. And this die comes from Tasteful Labels. Once again, sort of hard to see it. I'll show you in a minute. And I'm going to put my Happy Mother's Day in the center of it. And now I've got my 1, 2, and 3 plate, and a 3 plate on top. And I'm going to run it through. It's sort of hard to see it on the camera because this is a big machine, which is why I prefer to film with my smaller machine, but anyway, there you have it. Alrighty, so let me get this out of the way. I even managed to knock my camera and everything. Okay, cool. All right, so here are the macrame embossed top and bottom. And somehow managed to throw away, oh, there it is. Is this my card base? All right, so now it's really quite quick. I thought I would go ahead and take this little border, which is in the Daffodil stamp set, Daffodil Daydreams, and I'm going to go ahead and get those little paper chads out of there. You know, I haven't used this one yet, so I want to clean it before I use it, because otherwise sometimes it gets like a little sticky residue on there, and the first one doesn't always work. So I'm cleaning it first before I get started. And not only that, I think I'll test it on a scrap of paper, which is, this is a pretty messy scrap. Because otherwise sometimes your first one doesn't work very well. All right, so that looks great. And I'm gonna go ahead and just stamp it on this, which has also got a nice little layer of sponge, which makes for a nicer stamped image. I thought I would put that right at the bottom on the inside. Doesn't that look pretty? Of my card. All right, so now since I'm doing the expressions in ink one, this is a 3x6 piece of designer series paper. This works best if you take, and we're gonna run it this point and this corner up to this point's gonna line up with that side of the paper. All right, so I just sort of put it on there to see where to put my tape. So I'm going to put that piece of tape there. And this one I'm just going to stick there. All right, so I'm going to line this corner up. And, no, wrong corner. Hello. There we go. These two corners up. And now I'm going to take my snips and I'm just going to cut off that little piece of cardstock. You could also use your paper cutter. Which honestly I would normally do, but it's sort of hard to use it on my video, so not always the best cutter when I use the snips, but hey, I did a good job. All right, you can use these scraps for something else. So there's that, and now I'm going to take these two, and I'm going to go ahead and use my glue on this. And I'm putting glue on the deboss side. I'll line up the corners there. Yeah, for some reason that was just a tad bigger. I'm just going to trim her down. Yeah, I'm going to wait, make sure before I do that. Yeah, it is a little bit bigger. I don't know how that happened. All right. Put some more glue on the back of this shaded spruce piece. There we go. So excited the spring is coming, but of course we have this awful forecast for snow tomorrow. They're not real confident of the accuracy, but we could have up to 3 inches again. It's been like, we're March now, but February was the 3rd snowiest on record. So of course we always have to have that last little snowfall or two in March. And it looks like that might be tonight. Hopefully it doesn't happen. And there we go. Oops. Let's line that up a little bit better. Wiggle down. That's one of the good reasons to use the glue. It looks like I didn't get that corner all the way down, so it kind of messed up a little. Oh well. And then I'm going to take my Happy Mother's Day, and I think I'm going to pop it up on a dimensional. And put that right there. Of course, you could say anything on this card, but I was just trying to go with what was in the set. And I went ahead and did a 3D butterfly for this card. The other card I just did a one-dimensional butterfly. And I'll put a little bit of glue right there. And once again, these are the 3 butterfly shapes. I put a little glue down the middle, and then I kind of fold this one up to give it a little bit of dimension. And turning this little body over. Now, I think on another video that I watched from another demonstrator, she called Stampin' Up, and apparently this is actually supposed to be the sepal for the daffodil, but most people are just using it for the butterfly. And it looks sort of silly as the sepal. So isn't that cute though? Look at that. And we'll go ahead and put that. We could put it on a dimensional, or we could just put it on there. And you could put it anywhere, really. You could put it there if you wanted to. I'm going to put it right there. Of course, it would help if you could see what I was doing, I suppose. There, isn't that gorgeous? All right, so that's with expressions in ink. But as you recall, my original card used the daffodil paper from Celebration. So I already went ahead and cut all that out. And, well, I'm not going to assemble it. It's basically the same card. Just with different paper. But I wanted to show you paper you could actually purchase now. So this is a fun fold, and I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day. Bye now.